interesting things to note. AA though, that's a hero that we haven't seen really much at all. Is okay versus Io, is decent versus the Bane as well, but yeah, I'm not really sure. This combo of AA Winter Wyvern to me seems a little bit light.
It's a little lackluster, but when you have team fight, you're gonna focus one with like Winter Wyvern ulti into, I mean, hopefully the IO, and then AA blasting on top of it, and you make this IO worthless for that 7 seconds, assuming he doesn't have any Aghanim. So they're just going for this big AoE team fight. And I don't know, this goes back to their issue with Game 1, right? They're gonna pick like these 4 utility, semi-mobile, somewhat team fight oriented lineup, and then they're gonna pick like one crazy hardcore carry, which could be like their Dusa or their Spectre or something. Someone that really needs to carry the game. They don't have a win condition hero or lineup yet, while Infamous do. You know, the Gyro IO is just gonna scale throughout the game. They have a win condition, they can take Roshan and so forth. The Infamous Young, like they have like no Roche potential. All I see is like in the mid game, they just wants to constantly fight over and over because they have semi-low cooldown with Centaur, Tidehunter being the big cooldown ability. But I mean, it seems like right now with Infamous, they just kind of want to chill and just kind of farm up BKBs, and they don't really need to rush into anything because you don't really ever want to run into like a Tide ulti or a Winter Wyvern ulti, you know. But it feels like with their lineup, with Envy's lineup, with the Gyro IO, they can rat pretty easily because they don't really have any catch either on Infamous Young.
Stuns are... They have stuns. Centaur Warrunners, you could throw that one around, but Ravage and Curse to stop ratting, you really don't want to be doing that. And it also, like, it's kind of weird because the Tidehunter and Centaur usually do the same thing in the same lane. Usually it's like you pick Tidehunter or you pick Centaur Warrunner. Obviously you're going to pick Centaur Warrunner most of the time there, but they kind of function the same way. But then it's like, how are these lanes going to work? What mid are you going to pick up that can be that heavy, that can actually just win you the game? And like it seems like that pick is Medusa or bust. Like I don't know if there are any other heroes that can go mid that can carry you that hard. Or can like Tidehunter go mid? Like can they greed out in some other way and actually find a way to get Spectre? I don't know.
Oh, that was such a good pick actually. I like this Venom pick a lot. I mean, you're able to constantly pressure one lane in. Just like I think Envy already has this mindset of just like playing the split game, and just as long as Infamous Young aren't together, like Infamous will have an advantage over them, right? Because Venom's always going to be constantly pushing a lane in, keeping his wards there, and the lane's constantly going to be pushed. And if there's no pressure, then, you know, this Gyro and IO is just constantly just going to be staying off map. I mean, I assume they would ban Dusa. I mean, they can still go for this Tidehunter carry or something. Not really sure how optimal that will be. I mean, Tide did get buffed, right?
You don't sound very confident in the Tide carry.
I don't, because there's like no melee. Yeah, Gyro's low range, but like Tide doesn't have a game with this Veno, and like these 2 cores already from Infamous picked up. I feel like the Centaur, this Tide, they don't feel good about their game at all. It just doesn't feel good because they're gonna be, I was gonna say slowed, but I know Centaur can like use a Stampede, but then what's next after that if you're able to kite it?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hard.
These like one-off disables that you can use and hopefully like get a kill in that duration. But outside of that, it's like, how do you actually keep up with your targets through Venomancer, through Calldown?
There's the Brewmaster pick where I said it's like it works well with like Infamous lineup, but not Infamous Young. So I'm really curious what they're gonna pick here. Meepo was a great ban, and they are Invoker. Yeah, I forgot about that guy. That's another hero that can actually... I mean, he's a win-condition hero. There wasn't that many left, right? There's like a Dusa, there's Invoker, and... I think that's about it, right? I mean, there's Alchemist, but that guy's pretty throwy. You die, like, you snowball with him, and he just dies once, and his game's kind of ruined. But
it seems like they're just putting way too many chips onto this Invoker. Like, same exact thing as the late game, last game, where it's like, yeah, we got our late game Medusa, we're good to go, man. But in this game, it's like, Invoker, he really has a tough time early on if he's up in a rough matchup. And versus Venomancer, that's just a matchup where he's just constantly going to be pushed. Like, maybe he turns around and gets a couple kills. Maybe they have Sunstrike kills elsewhere. But, like, that lane is just going to be ground to dust. Like, Venomancer is just going to kind of burn him out.
Who's their carry player in Infamous Young? I know RoboZ is their mid player. Valky is their off lane. Schofield to support.
It should be Whisper.
Whisper's a carry?
I mean... should be.
Okay. Well, I mean, just like based off like, you know, roles. What's their normal?
Yeah.
Okay, he's a carry. Yeah. So that's what I said it had to be. So Tide wants to be matched up with the Brewmaster. Invoker will be against Tomato's going against Veno. And then this Jaro IO lane. I don't know. Obviously I'm in favor for Infamous lineup. I think it's gonna be a clean 2-0. I think it's a pretty big outdraft, but I mean how Infamous Young can kind of win is like partially hoping like Infamous will run into them, and you know, if they're able to die and they actually Infamous Young snowballs well, then I think they can win this game. But they're gonna have to hit a timing, because the later the game goes, I feel it's gonna be favoring Infamous much more.
It is worth noting that, I mean, we were kind of railing on Infamous Young earlier for not having really stuns in order to catch up to a gyrocopter that may be ratting, but on the Infamous side, they are really light on the CC as well. Like, you have the Cyclone and Boulder, but that requires a split from Pepita. You have Missile and Nightmare, but all these things are, you know, they do stun, but they're not really the most guaranteed tools, so maybe they aren't going to be able to, like, take these really big team fights or chase down their targets afterwards. So I mean, they do have that to worry about on the Infamous side, but it all just seems kind of pale in comparison because their lanes are just looking really clean. I am interested to see this new AA. I haven't seen him with this fancy chilling touch.
Well, it's pretty nice. I like it. I mean, I like seeing him mid a lot more, like kind of like a core AA, because his third spell does so much more damage. I like how the cooldown works, the extra attack range, and so forth. Just a lot of bonus percentage damage, and it just does so much damage, right? But you just need to have the right game for it, the right matchup. I was thinking
matchup.
No, I mean not for core, but as support, I think it's okay because it's pretty good for Sayo. He's running uphill here. Yeah. Tidehunter actually went for a stout shield. Not a big fan of this build because his Kraken spell, like it kind of it conflicts with it and doesn't really it doesn't work properly with Kraken Shell and Stout Shield. Like after you get level 2, it's just like it nullifies the Stout Shield already.
I feel like it once worked with it. I might be crazy, but I feel like that may have been a thing at some point in time. I mean, you could maybe make the argument that it's like, hey, we have this ability through gold instead of through experience. But yeah, usually it just seems like a Stout Shield is gonna be a very short-term item in any game, especially on a Tidehunter. But for like level 1, man, you can get something else, and then you take this chip damage from his gyrocopter, from an IO. These guys don't do a lot of damage, so it's a really heavy level 1 investment.
I'd rather
not worth it, but
I think a gauntlet or something into like massing bracers, because bracers like value way more, right? And the stout just, I don't know, it's a waste of gold, waste of money. Moose is actually
it's a 4-man shield.
Pressuring mid here. Wants to give Veno an early good start here. Booker's generally pretty weak level 1.
I expect this to be like the mid lane the entire time. Like even without this Bane here, like a level 1 Venomancer can be very scary, but like once you get level 3, level 4, I don't know, the Invoker's just gonna have to find some Sunstrikes, and like you can't really kill Brewmaster on top. That's not happening. I'm not sure if they can kill Envy. Like maybe they can if they get Gush leveled up and he's in a rough spot up against the AA, but that doesn't seem like great either. Sunstrike just doesn't seem like it has many opportunities. In the meantime, he's just being dove by Tomato. Okay, he's gonna survive that time, but there's a Brain Sap right around the corner. And with a couple more right clicks, is Robo just gonna die to Bane? He will. Well, tag teaming over in mid, and that is not a good start for your easily most important hero.
I mean, the idea behind it was good because they want to constantly pressure mid as much as they can. Invoker feels pretty bad. They have really high kill potential in mid, and they just wanted to force that support rotation just so this Brewmaster has a 1v1 kind of favorable matchup here. And, you know, I was thinking about it more. I think this Tide carry can actually really work out. If he snowballs pretty well, he can be somewhat untouchable for like there's a timing on him, right? That's just how this new kind of Tide works. I mean, I've been playing Tide carry for fun in pubs, and he's like pretty OP. But in like this early stage, it's kind of hard for him because it's like they don't, like he's like strong against more physical damage heroes or melee heroes just because of how his anchor smash works. But when you're playing like it's like a gyro and like all this magic damage, it's kind of hard. A little bit more difficult here.
So has to worry about that eventual Fire and Forget spell, the Cyclone.
Yeah.
The best thing to deal with these heroes that kind of just run at you, just throw them in the air as Pepita, and you can focus everyone else. Kraken Shell obviously doesn't work when you're up there not taking damage. They're actually going to rotate now 3 heroes down to this bottom lane, and I mean, these 3 heroes are pretty powerful, but I don't see them actually ever getting close enough to any of these infamous heroes to actually do anything. So I guess Schofield can't really be doing much else somewhere else, but I don't know. This is now a full Tidehunter safe lane tri lane.
And the
Never
issue,
thought I'd see the day again.
the issue was I think people forgot how to play IO or haven't touched them in a while. Like when Schofield actually went on the gyro IO, he actually was focusing all his Arctic bursts and focusing the IO while his team was like kind of chasing him. But like he still gets the full movement speed from the gyro because it's based off like who he's tethered to, not just the hero itself. So he still got the full movement speed despite like his, what percentage slow is it? Like 22% slow, and it's just like he kind of realized that towards the end of it. And that could have, I mean, they wouldn't have had any kill potential, but they would have wasted all of their consumables for it. That's the kind of idea you should think
mid lane. There was an invisible rune on the Bane, set up for level 2 Gale on the Invoker, and the Invoker just being level 3 kind of just gets crushed there. This lane is just going to get worse for the Invoker, actually. It usually gets better as you pick up more Absorb, but now Whisper, you're taking a little bit of damage, although it does turn around, challenge Envy. He's going to get frozen in place, disrespecting those cold feet, but now Whisper disrespected the rockets. He is going to try to swim his way out of there. Not going to happen. AA nightmared under the tower. Another set of rockets coming in towards him. Right clicks will be close. Envy taking tower shots. And Snaking, he actually has like full HP, so he can't really heal Envy. And it will cost them the Gyrocopter, but I mean, to get 2 kills, probably worth it. Snaking's going to be kind of happy about that.
Yeah, like I was mentioning, like this Stout Shield and Kraken Shell, it doesn't do anything for Tide. I mean, just with the matchup that he has, I think he just needed to be laned against this Brewmaster to have like a much more favorable lane despite him being a carry, and just let Centaur kind of like suck it up and just have the bad lane. And just play against his gyro, because it's like this Tide is just gonna feed. And if he didn't go the Stout Shield, he had an extra like Gauntlet and then a faster Bracer, I don't think he would die in this lane either. These little small details matter so much.
Especially like new Bracer, you're looking at magic resistance versus a Gyrocopter. I don't know how much 6% is really going to matter in the grand scheme of Rocket Barrage, but it's definitely going to matter more than a Stout Shield, that's for sure. So if he is going to get 2-3 bracers, suddenly Gyrocopter's looking kind of unimpressive, and even the Venomancer looking rather unimpressive as well. Speaking of, he's again just shoving this Invoker out of the lane. As top lane, a little bit of rotation as well, but Pepita, he's having a fine time against Centaur. We haven't talked about top lane. I don't really think there's much to talk about. These heroes are just going to be chilling and farming. Centaur's a slight lead, but I don't really think that's going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, they're both just ultimately just trading farm here, so.
You have another snap onto Tomato. The wraparound from Moose, though, Splinter Blast does chunk this Bane down pretty low, and there's going to be a lot of damage being traded back and forth. I like that they're now trying to help out this Invoker, but I feel like this kind of has to be like a standing dual lane if they really want to give this Invoker help.
This game is just too funny, man. I mean, just how ever since this patch came out, everyone's just massing like three null talismans, and then 4th Wraith Band coming out of Tomato soon here. Moves, they're wrapping around mid again. Easy
Gale and the Sting. That damage over time, dude, that poison is just so impossibly hard to play around. Winter Wyvern's gonna show up and do nothing. And this is just like a full-on 2v2 mid lane. Like, Bane is not leaving.
Yeah. I mean, Bane was rotating between mid and top right now, and like I like what he's doing a lot. He just feels like with Infamous Young's lineup, with the 2 supports, like they lack rotation and counter initiation. That's kind of their biggest issue here. Until they kind of get their levels, their level 6 is like very game changing, but until then, I think they have very weak laning presence.
Being wrapped around upon level 2 Gush. And the Cold Feet doesn't quite freeze him in place. He's got the power treads. He's rather speedy. Now Moo's gonna come in. This Bane is absolutely everywhere. And Tide's gonna get buzzed down one more time. They're gonna try to go for the Courier as well, just for value. They'll just turn around and get the Tide. And what level is he? He's level 4. Not really all that close to level 5 either. And yeah, this seems like a pretty well lost bottom lane for the Infamous Young side. And over in top, I mean, they've rotated Schofield all the way up top now, and I don't even know what he can do versus that Brewmaster. They can't kill this guy, like, ever.
Yeah, I mean, What? I'm casting, bro.
Casting, bro.
I don't have it, man. I don't have it. Dude, come on, man. Sorry. Huh?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Casting Infamous and Infamous Young. Sorry.
Dire's top tower is under
Dude, not even joking. People probably care more about your side conversation than the kills that happened mid. Like, not joking at all. It was just walk in, get kills. Not fun and interactive
Radiant's
Dota.
middle tower is under
March is attacking me, man. That's all. I mean, so going back to it, I think the issue with this whole Tide and like AA lane is they lack synergy on how they use their combo together. They need to use the gold feet with the gush and the chilling touch at the same time, but instead it's just like he's using like gush and then into the cold feet and then like a delay in the chilling touch, which is why he's actually never frozen. And if he was able to actually use that, then I think like you know, they would actually get potential kills here in this bottom lane. And it just feels like a huge lack of synergy between.
I'm trying to think of like what we used to see with like AA, like Sven AA or CK AA. These are the real classic combos. I don't know if CK is a hero at all nowadays, but I mean, this is kind of what you have to do if you want to make AA work. Even though his chilling touch has been pretty severely tweaked, cold feet disable, that just as a disable spell is still so powerful. I feel like ignoring it is kind of a foolish mistake, but I mean they're trying. Not really sure if they're gonna get much out of this situation. Moose, he's gonna push forward pretty far by himself. Cold feet again, just not doing enough. They need more hard control, and the hard control is all in top lane.
I mean, like I said, it's just like he would use the gush and the slow would kind of disappear, then the cold feet would come into the chilling touch, and it's just, if they just use their combo together and they talk about it, and you know, they would actually get these targets, they would get these kills. And he's actually leveling up gush, so that's actually pretty interesting. I don't think it's very, I mean, he should be getting his second and third spell, but
now he just lost his AA support in the trees, couldn't do a thing to save him. Splinter Blast, maybe slowing down Envy just enough. Creep's also blocking the gyrocopter, so they get away with this Tide Hunter, but I mean, surviving is, is he even gonna survive? The trees all get destroyed because Schofield lands. Kind of lets them just get through Missile. That's the level 1 ability, doesn't do that much. Now the Stampede is out. EE making a break for the bounty rune, is gonna grab it, and Snaking trying to relocate out, he will fail. They turn around, get the kill on the Io, and now the Bane and Brewmaster looking for some Invoker action. Can't quite find it there, but Infamous make a massive rotation over towards the bottom lane, and though I think that's like well warranted, like they gotta answer this somehow, there are kind of problems everywhere at this point.
yeah, I mean, I just don't know. It's just like we kind of mentioned at the beginning of the draft, like this drafting issue from game 1 to game 2, they just have one hero that can ultimately like feel like it can do anything, and the rest of the 4 heroes, like, you can't, I don't think you could just play Dota like this, you know. It's not like 2010 where you just have one person win you the game, you know. It needs to be like kind of a team effort. But this Tide, this AA, like these heroes don't have lanes, they don't have, I don't know, they have no pressure, they can't win their lanes, and that's like a big deal in Dota these days.
They have to be able to like stand by themselves or be able to combo up and actually take down towers, I think. Like if this Tide Hunter was some other hero that was, you know, able to push towers really, really well, and then that's pretty much it. I can see that working decently just because they get a lot of room for their Invoker or whoever's going to go in toward the mid lane, but Tide and Centaur just don't do that. Like they're not those type of heroes, and now the split comes in from Pizza. The grip is there as well. And they're going to shotgun the Bane with that Ice Blast, and Moose will fall, but Whisper is going to die shortly after. Now the AA is without backup, so he's surrounded by pandas. Usually a happy thing, but not in this game. Double kill for Pepita, and this tower should fall as well. They're applying some pressure over in mid, but yeah, this Brewmaster just crashing that party hard, and still this is a Venomancer just chilling. 4 Wraith Bands earned on the Venomancer. Yeah, this is 7.2 alright.
Yeah, Blink Dagger's gonna be finished up on Brewmaster soon. Veno, level 11 already, 12 minutes into the game. He almost finishes up his Vessel as well. Holy crap, he's farmed.
Radiant's top tower
I think
is
they're
under
just gonna
attack.
kind of chill a little bit, just try to pressure lanes in a safely manner, wait until Brewmaster ulti is up, and then like Tomato will constantly just farm this jungle here and pressure this top lane. Yeah. I don't know, I just feel like there's no real big plays Infamous Young can do. Tide does have Ravage up, he's trying to Ravage.
There's no one there. He needs some help. Here comes the Invoker. Bolt Snap onto Snaking, but he's so quick with that Gyrocopter and the drums especially. Turn around and buzz down the Tide Hunter, and from the north side as well, Moose and Schofield going to arrive, kind of awkwardly support battle one another. Moose should be fine though, and now they're just waiting for EE just to get a little bit more juice in the tank before he goes in for round 2 onto the Winter Wyvern. She's down and looking for more perhaps. AA can't run away from this drum. Snaking will take quite a bit of damage here, but EE should have this kill in the bag, even if he has to go in deep to the trees. Walled off by the creeps now. EE got debated. He's not going to get the kill. So they take down the Gyrocopter, but Pepita, he's rushing in with the DD rune. Moose has a Brain Sap for the kill. And now they should just be all walking out of there. So, yeah, Gyrocopter maybe goes a little bit too far without backup. But very, very limp response there from Infamous Young. And still top lane, by the way, is kind of being ground down. Classic Venomancer stuff.
Yeah, I mean, AH definitely should have thrown his blast first before the Ravage, and then they were just kind of lingering there, and as soon as like he sees the AA blast, the Ravage would have came, and I think it would have been able to kill the Gyro and IO much more cleaner, but instead I've never seen how many synchronized spells that's missing, like they're whiffing from left to right, and it was pretty interesting, you know, from the Meatball to the Sunstrike, Ravaging, AA blast, everything was just whiffing from left to right, man.
It's not the time to be whipping spells. They don't have the draft that can afford them that luxury.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Now onto the Centaur top lane. Vanguard actually going to do quite a bit there. It just gives you a lot of health, but then the rockets come in and you realize you don't have any magic resistance. They also take down Schofield elsewhere at the exact same time. Looks like he just ran into Pepita.
And that's the thing with
him to be.
With Infamous's lineup, they have a lot more room for error in comparison with Infamous Young. They have very, very little room to make errors. They needed to really snowball with their lanes, but then their lanes weren't even very favored either. Yikes. I don't know what they can do. I just feel like now they have 2 position 3s now with this Tide Hunter and this Centaur.
You know, I've always said I hated the term outdraft. I feel like people throw it around like all the time. If like a team loses, everyone's just like, oh, they got outdrafted. But there's like games like this where like a draft just really doesn't do all that much. And then I think that phrase is okay. The grip goes off into the Centaur. Stampede? No, sir. Straight into the call down. Ravage comes in onto 3, that kills off the Bane. Now the Meteor comes in as well. But they just don't have enough chasing power. Sunstrike and Snaking snipes the IO. That is like peak Infamous Young right there. That is the maximum of what they're able to do. Just land the Ravage, get a couple kills immediately off the bat. And now they have to wait another 2 minutes to do that again. But hey, that was some win for them.
It's a small win, but at the same time, Infamous is happy with it. It's 2 supports for all these big cooldown spells. Not really all big, but Stampede and Ravage, they're both down, and because of that, 2 supports dying, they're just gonna have a quick respawn and immediately just run down the lanes again and be ready to fight, because now they know there's no Ravage, there's no Stampede, no play off the cooldowns. Relocate is up.
Especially means Venomancer and Brewmaster can do actually whatever they want, because you know they're all slows. They know that these heroes can't run away. Schofield especially, oh my god, that's some crit. Well, he is going to embrace himself, but I'm not sure if it's going to get him out. Venomancer, oh, too far away to get that Spirit Vessel though. Still at 0 charges. That feels pretty bad, man.
Yeah, this position 5 AA is higher level than Envy here, than Gyro. There's a position 5 AA, right? Yeah. Nice high, level 10. Envy's only level... Oh, he's 10 now as well. He just got 10 now.
Envy's gonna be crying all the way to the bank.
Tomato has a really free game here in Venomancer. He's level 14 already, 16 minutes in.
And Pepita, Moose teaming up to find a poor Ancient Apparition. He lands a nice blast, but up against Brewmaster, that doesn't really do all that much. He can split if he really needs to. Oof, yeah, the map is starting to close off, and I mean, Gyrocopter's had a pretty big impact so far already, but now is about the time when EE and Snaking kind of just go AWOL and just farm up. And then even then, it's like, you know, these heroes can rejoin the fight with relocate if they really need to. I don't think they need to anytime soon.
Oh crap, I screwed up my map. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was checking Fog of War on both teams, and you can see how much vision Infamous has with their lane wards and shrine wards, and how much map control they have overall in comparison. Like Infamous Young, they feel very blind. That's why you can see these 4 heroes are just kind of sticking together. So they're losing a lot of net worth out of it, and they are making a smoke play now that they have their cooldowns up. You know, this level 8 carry Tide, 18 minutes in, he's gonna go for some big plays right now. And they need to find a core, that's the thing. And I don't know how they're gonna lock down this Brewmaster, but look, he's just gonna split.
It's the Ravage. Otherwise, he's just gonna split.
Wow.
They tried to with the Cold Snap, they got him.
Those 5 heroes. Those 5 heroes, and he got a tower out of it, so I'm pretty sure he's very happy with that. Like, yes, they got the kill, but like I said, now, like, mid's pushing in, bottom lane is like, okay. Yeah, they committed 5 heroes for that. They do get a tier 1 out of it, which makes it okay. Level 13 Brewmaster. But, I mean, it was just a huge commitment, and that's just 1 core now. Just imagine when Infamous starts playing together, and Invoker's already dead for it. Yikes.
That map control. I mean, you obviously see 2 heroes on top lane, so you know they're not going to help out. You know that there's no Stampede, so, I mean, he was gripped the entire time. Not really sure if that was going to be relevant either way, so... Yeah, it's a free Invoker just chilling in the mid lane. May as well go and grip him. Now they're going to start a fight over this top tier 2 into the Ravage. Pizza's going to show up, blink, clap, and he knows that he's a free split. He's going to do a lot of damage here to the Centaur. Moose and Tomato coming in from the side.
Wow.
Already taking down the Centaur. Pretty much Pizza doing it by himself. Tidehunter carry in the air, can't do much except for TP out, but he gets lifted out of that one as well from Tomato's Yule Scepter. They take down the AA elsewhere. Whisper trying desperately to get on top of Moose, but with the boulders, with the slows from the Venomancer, he's not going anywhere. Schofield just looking, curses, the Bane, got him. But
Papita, suavecita, right there. Yeah, I mean, wow. And they didn't even get the tier 2. Like, Brewmaster actually just soloed the Centaur. I was actually impressed how much damage he was doing. 2000 HP with the Vanguard. And Brewmaster solo killed him, threw a Tide up, and then he just made so much space for his team. Just this Brewmaster can handle like 4 of these heroes alone. As long as he's able to get his split off. Invoker, 20 minutes in, he's like 900 gold off his Aghanims here, and it's just... I feel like it's not going to do anything. I mean, Gyro's kind of hit his peak soon. He's level 12, he's BKB up. I mean, their next objective is going to be Roche, and probably looking into just taking over the map before they actually go high ground. Unless they continue snowballing even more and have like a 30k gold net worth lead. And here it is, another 5-man smoke.
No answers versus BKB, by the way. Like, again, once this Gyrocopter pushes that button, you just got to like stampede and run away, because you're not killing him.
They have to play around Winter Wyvern ulti and like Ravage. Like if he gets a good Winter Wyvern ulti and is able to burst down the IO or a core out of it, then it can work out. Then again, this IO is actually extremely farmed. He has a hood and a mech now.
Damn.
He's focusing on getting a heart next. They gotta scan on them
for that Ags upgrade for well, whoever, mostly the Gyrocopter. They're kind of surrounding mid lane, and I like this move from Infamous Young to be doing this. I don't like the AA's positioning in doing so, though. Going into the tier 2 like this, that's a little suspect. I'm not really sure about that move, but someone gets slept over in mid lane. That's an Invoker. EE pops the BKB, he's going to start gunning him down. Is there detection? There is detection from the low ground. Yes, they have him in the bag. And what's going on up here? It's Schofield, who is distracting a lot of heroes. GG. The classic South American anticlimactic GG.
I mean, that's the issue, I think, with the South American scene for quite some time. Strategy. They lack a real